Well, hello and happy Saturday, Life Point Youth. It is so good to be with you. My name is Josh. If you don't know, I'm the youth pastor here. And man, it's just so good to be with you on this Saturday for this weekly recap. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I do want to kind of just unpack very shortly, give you the Spark Notes, the Cliff Notes version of the sermon that we had this past week, the message that we had. You know, Macy, my wife, got a chance to preach. Please, if you weren't here on Wednesday this past week, make sure you go and check out the weekly replay because it was an incredible word and you do not want to miss out on it. You know, we talked about the story of David and Goliath, and a lot of us would know that story, but if you don't, man, go read it. It's an incredible one. I'm not going to give all of the details there, but essentially Goliath is this enemy of God's people. And he is standing up in front of an entire camp of Israel, which is the nation that God was over and had his hand over. And he's basically taunting them and making fun of them and making fun of God even. And they lived their entire season of fear. They lived this entire time just scared to death. And it was because Goliath was a 9'9" beast of a giant. And here he is talking smack. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was in school, the biggest guys typically had the biggest mouths. And Goliath is no exception here. So, of course, they would be scared and they would be freaking out. And then you have David, this small little pipsqueak of a boy. He's only about 15 years old. And here he is coming. If you watch Veggie Tales, Macy talked about it on Wednesday, but you have this little pipsqueak delivering pizzas, right? It's really food and supplies, but the Veggie Tales version, it's pizza. You know, and here he is, and he's like, wait, no, you're not going to talk about my God that way. Why are we just sitting down and letting him talk about God this way? It starts to really fire him up. And he's like, I'll take him on. So Saul, the king at the time, is like, okay, well, we got to give you the best armor. We got to give you the best weaponry. We got to give you everything you need to fight this battle. And David starts to put all this on, and it starts to become weighty on him. It doesn't fit him right. It's actually weighing him down. And he goes and he actually just gets a few smooth stones and his slingshot, and he goes out and actually conquers the giant. He wins the battle. And we know it's because of his obedience to the Lord. But I think even more than that, and this is what Macy really hit on, and I think it's just so cool, man. Dude, if you weren't here, it was an incredible service and an incredible word by Macy, but she really was driving home this point, and this is what I want to close and end with, and let you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. There are things that God wants to do in you that he cannot do with anyone else. You know, we see in this story that David was really the only person who was going to step up and actually go up against Goliath. He was the only one. Everyone else was hiding in their tents, and they were really scared, and they didn't want to die or lose the battle or anything like that. They were so terrified. They didn't even know that they had God on their side. Here comes David, and he's ready, and he's willing, and he is able to win the battle. I want you to know, and I think Macy wants you to know as well, because she talked about this, but there are things that we can't do as your leaders. There are things that our youth leaders can't come alongside of you and do. There are things that you have to do yourself. There are things that God is calling out of you that we can't fulfill. And I think that should bring this entire thing into focus for us. Man, if you are not following Jesus really genuinely, if your relationship is kind of out of whack, you're not going to be able to be tuned in to hear what he wants you to do, and you might miss it. And let me tell you something. There are lives on the line. There are souls to be won. There are people who are walking away from the faith and just following all of the garbage that we're seeing. I want you to be rooted, and I want you to be able to stand firm in what God is calling you and what he's calling out of you. You know, so I think that it's just incredible to know that God is so good, that he creates us so special, that even the callings and the things that he wants out of us, only we can do. And I think that that's really cool. Man, I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I hope that you enjoyed the message. If you didn't have a chance, make sure you go check it out. It's on Facebook, it's on YouTube. We also have an audio version on our Apple Podcasts and Spotify page, so you can go check that out as well. Man, I hope to see you tomorrow. It's going to be an awesome time together for junior high. We have our junior high conversations, and man, it's going to be an incredible lesson. I can't wait. We have services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. If you're not comfortable yet, that is okay, man. Make sure you join us online though at 9 a.m. Because even then we have a lot of connection points and a lot of ways for you to stay connected. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you on Wednesday.